Incredible act, poor girl's touching gesture reveals hidden riches of elderly man life-changing community story. Lily Thompson stood in the heart of Maplewood, where the air was thick with the aroma of baked pies and a cloud of judgment hung over every street corner. She was only 12, but life had already carved grooves of resilience in her heart. Her mother worked 2 jobs, trying to keep their small household afloat since her father left for a job far away. Despite their struggles, Lily found joy each weekend at the community soup kitchen, where her warmth seemed to mend broken spirits. Every Saturday, she poured generous bowls of hearty soup, her bright smile bringing solace to the patrons, a mix of weary faces, some full of tension, others etched with loneliness. It was there she first noticed Mr. Thompson. The quiet widower who lived just a few houses down became a subject of gossip for those in town. They whispered about his tattered truck and his seemingly solitary life, crafting a narrative of suspicion around him, a narrative that felt increasingly unfair to Lily. One chilly afternoon, Lily gathered her courage and knocked on Mr. Thompson's door. When he answered, surprise lit up his gray eyes. Instead of the cold dismissal she expected, he invited her in. The warmth of his home, filled with antique furniture and books forgotten by time, enveloped her. They quickly began to share stories, and she saw in him a depth that the townsfolk overlooked. He told her about his youth, about the brave soldier he once was, and the immense loss that had shaped his life. His stories were captivating, but what struck her most was how he had quietly dedicated countless hours to helping others, repairing bicycles for children, paying bills for struggling families without seeking a single shred of recognition. She watched with admiration as he spoke, and something inside her stirred. "Mr. Thompson, you're like a hero," she suddenly exclaimed. He chuckled softly, dark wrinkles framing his smile. "Heroes don't wear capes, Lily. Sometimes, they just do what's right." This simple truth struck Lily like lightning. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Emboldened by their friendship, Lily envisioned a community barbecue to reveal Mr. Thompson's generous spirit. Their project picked up speed like a rushing river, but just as hopes peaked, a storm struck Maplewood. Rain crashed down, flooding the park where the barbecue was set to take place. The townspeople grumbled, doubt creeping into conversations. Was it worth it to help an elderly man they barely knew? Standing in front of her mother, Lily felt the weight of defeat on her heart. She knew the town's unfair judgments mirrored her own family's struggles. Suddenly, she found herself at a crossroads between fear and determination. She had seen the goodness hidden beneath Mr. Thompson's exterior, and she couldn't let their ignorance snuff out the light he had shared. As she stepped before a crowd of familiar faces, the air heavy with uncertainty, her voice trembled but held steady. "Mr. Thompson is more than what you think. He is a treasure of kindness in our town. Let us not let bias drown our chance for community." In that moment, hope and courage swelled within her, but would it be enough to unite a town held captive by prejudice? The question hung in the air, echoing the potential for connection that stretched far beyond their shared struggles. Lily felt every eye in the crowd ponder her words. A buzz of murmurs rippled through the people of Maplewood. Some were skeptical, their faces set in hardened lines. Others seemed intrigued, curiosity flickering in their expressions. With each passing second, her heart raced faster, pumping courage through her veins. "Please listen," she added, urgency threading through her voice. "Mr. Thompson has given so much to our town without asking for anything in return. Just last week, he fixed a bicycle for my friend Sarah, so she could ride to the grocery store for her mother. He has helped us, and now it's time we help him back." The whispers grew louder, the tension in the air almost tangible. James, a tall teenager who loved to shoot hoops with his friends, broke the silence first. "I heard he does help folks. But, Why should we care? I mean, what has he really done for us? Lily locked eyes with him, her breath catching. He does what he can, James. Sometimes, it's the small things that make the big difference. He makes the world feel a little less lonely. That struck a chord. From the back, a soft voice chimed in. It was Mrs. Williams, an elderly lady who often volunteered at the soup kitchen alongside Lily. My husband struggled with constant back pain in his last years. Mr. Thompson helped fix his wheelchair. You may not see it, but he touches lives. Lily's heart swelled with hope at hearing the shift in sentiment. She pressed on, fueled by passion. We can't let this storm wash away what we can do together. Let us create the barbecue for Mr. Thompson, not just for him but for all of us. To show that we care, that there's more to our town than gossip. We can connect and celebrate our kindness. A few heads nodded. It was small, but it felt like a crack forming in the wall of doubt. Mr. Thompson's wisdom echoed in her mind. Sometimes doing what's right doesn't come with applause, but rather with the quiet nod of understanding. She caught sight of Mr. Thompson, who had stepped outside and was standing a few paces behind her, his features softening at the gathering that was forming. He didn't speak, but his gaze was electric, a supportive presence that urged her forward. I know it's hard to rally together against disbelief, Lily continued, but we can change our story. Let us show that we see the truth of the people around us. The crowd hesitated, yet slowly, one by one, faces began to soften. Sarah, a classmate, raised her hand. I think it's worth it. Let us make it happen. Cheers erupted from a handful of familiar voices, and before long, the chatter turned into ideas bouncing back and forth. What if they set up games for the kids? Someone suggested a potluck-style barbecue. Others mused about gathering donations to gift Mr. Thompson something special. As optimism blossomed in the community, Lily couldn't help but smile. The storm overhead might be raging, but maybe, just maybe, they could create their own warmth beneath it. A wave of solidarity swept through her, igniting a hopeful glow in her heart, but before she could dwell on the excitement, a rumble of thunder shook the ground. Lightning struck nearby, illuminating the faces filled with uncertainty once more. Just as she thought they were turning a corner, a shadow of doubt loomed overhead again. Will it really make that big a difference? Someone whispered. The collective energy began to shift, and Lily felt her insides twist. The answer sat heavy on the tip of her tongue. But could she have the strength to prove it? As Mr. Thompson listened quietly behind her, she knew the weight of her words hung in the air. Would their newfound determination hold against the storm brewing in more than just the sky? Determined to find out, Lily squared her shoulders, ready to fight for what mattered. But the question lingered, could one small girl's spark truly ignite the flame of change in the hearts of Maplewood? As she stood there, the chilling wind suggesting the worst was yet to come, she took a deep breath, knowing one wrong move might extinguish everything. Lily fought to maintain her composure as the storm rumbled above, each clap of thunder pounding like a warning drum. She felt the weight of the crowd's uncertainty pressing down on her. Would they listen? Would they believe that their shared actions could truly make a difference? Searching their faces for encouragement, she caught glimpses of doubt coexist with budding hope, and it fueled her resolve. Listen, she urged once again, more passionate than before. We all know Mr. Thompson is a part of our community. But let us remember he also sees us, our struggles, our dreams. This is our chance to show him he is not alone. We can't let our fears keep us from coming together. As if answering her plea, a small girl with pigtails stepped out from the crowd. If my mom says it's okay, I'll bring cookies. She shouted, her voice filled with childlike enthusiasm. The crowd turned, a few giggles breaking the tension as they recognized the bravery in the girl's simple gesture. Then, to Lily's surprise, James, who had once questioned her, lifted his chin. I guess I can help set up the games, he said, his tone softer. Just for a couple of hours. With that, a wave of excitement washed over the crowd. The idea of a community barbecue ignited more than just the spirit of giving, it brought a sense of belonging that had been hiding beneath the clouds of uncertainty. Suggestions flew fast. A grill, maybe a makeshift stage for those who wanted to share stories or memories about Mr. Thompson. Someone suggested a collection for a new tool set for him, something he could really use in his workshop. With every idea shared, Lily felt the weight of change settling into the air, transforming doubt into action. That a steady rain began to fall, but it hardly mattered now. Laughter blended into the patter of the drops, uniting everyone in a shared mission. As smiles broke through the gloom, it felt like spring blooming in the midst of winter. Lily glanced back at Mr. Thompson, who was now slowly walking towards her. She could see a mix of astonishment and emotion on his face. It was hard to tell what he felt, but in that moment, all Lily could see was his kindness, the twinkle in his eye that mirrored the warmth of their gathering. "Thank you, Lily," he finally spoke, his voice tinged with gratitude. "You've reminded us all that sometimes the smallest acts have the most significant impact." Her heart fluttered at his words, solidifying her belief in this mission. Yet, just as optimism surged, another bolt of lightning lit the sky. Everyone froze, glancing nervously around, as a sharp crack echoed through the air. What was that? A voice trembled in the crowd, and Lily felt the chills seep back in. "Stay close," Mr. Thompson instructed calmly, putting a protective hand on the shoulder of the little girl who had offered up cookies. "We'll weather this storm together." Lily looked around, sensing fear creep back into the hearts of her friends and neighbors. As rain began to pour harder, the fear of the storm outside was now mirrored by the anxiety within. "Will they really come together when it counts?" echoed in her mind, igniting the flicker of doubt once more. With the thunder rumbling overhead, Lily took a deep breath, resolute. "We let the storm get to us before, but not this time. We stay united. We show our spirit." But just as she spoke those words, a loud cracking noise reverberated through the town. She turned to see an old tree, mighty yet feeble, snapping in half, crashing towards the very spot where Mr. Thompson stood. Would they truly survive both the storm and their fears? As the tree fell, a gasp swept through the crowd. In that moment, Lily realized everything hinged on what came next. Would they rise above the storm, or would they let it break them apart? The crowd gasped, a collective breath held as the tree fell, splintering the air with a deafening crack. Time slowed, hearts raced. Every eye was fixed on Mr. Thompson, who stood frozen, his expression shifting from shock to determination in an instant. "Get back!" he shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. With a sudden burst of energy, he lunged forward, grabbing the little girl and pulling her to safety just as the tree hit the ground, sending up a spray of leaves and mud. A wave of relief mixed with disbelief washed over the crowd. They moved, reeling from the near disaster, helping one another regain their footing amidst scattered branches. Lily's breath caught in her throat as she rushed to Mr. Thompson, who held the girl tightly. His eyes were wide, yet there was a glint of bravery in them that shone through the stormy gloom. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice trembling. "I'm fine," he assured, but the concern in his eyes said otherwise. "We need to make sure everyone is safe." The little girl clung to Mr. Thompson, her face streaked with mud but her spirit unbroken. "Can I still bring cookies?" she asked, her innocence a spark of brightness in the storm-darkened day. It made the adults around her chuckle, the tension in the air slowly dissipating. In that moment, Lily decided it was time to act. "Everyone, listen!" she called out, her voice cracking through the remnants of anxiety. "We need to put our focus back on helping each other, just like Mr. Thompson did. If we can help him, we can help each other." The crowd began to move, energized by her words. People rushed to check on their neighbors, offering hands and words of comfort. James was first to grab a fallen branch, hauling the debris away to create a safe path. Others joined in, laboring together, pulling energy from the very storm itself. A sense of unity sparked, and Lily could feel the shift. No longer were they just a crowd, they were a community. Laughter returned alongside tears, as people started sharing stories, lighting comfort in each other's hearts. Just then, another flash of light illuminated the sky. It was not lightning, but the silhouettes of two older gentlemen stepping from the shadows of a nearby cafe, carrying a large, colorful banner that read "Together We Thrive." The sight of them made hearts lift as smiles and claps broke out. The old men had brought cakes and drinks to add to the barbecue, strong reminders that togetherness could be celebrated even in the storm. As the rain continued to pour, Lily felt a strange warmth wrapping around them, a collective heartbeat made up of laughter and shared purpose that radiated hope through the pitter-patter of droplets. "Look at us," Mr. Thompson said with a gentle smile. "We've weathered worse. And we'll emerge even stronger." But Lily's heart wasn't just lifted by his words, it was brimming with anxiety. What else tough challenges lay ahead? Was this moment of unity just a fleeting lightning strike before darkness descended once more? Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath them, and another rumbling echoed through the town. A worried murmur rippled through the crowd, their laughter faltering once again. "Stay steady," Lily urged, though her own voice shook. "This is our home. We can face anything together." As she looked at the faces surrounding her, a question lingered in her mind: could they truly hold on to this feeling when the storm passed? The answer felt just out of reach, like the warmth of the sun hidden behind the dark, swirling clouds. It was only then that Lily realized the most significant storms sometimes revealed not just danger, but also the strength buried deep within a community. With a heavy heart and hopeful eyes, she awaited the next challenge that would test their unity. The rumble underfoot intensified, and panic crept back into the crowd. Eyes darted around, searching for reassurance, searching for answers. Lily could feel her heart thumping like a drum in her chest. She took a deep breath, fighting the rising tide of fear. "Stay together," she shouted, her voice breaking through the looming dread. "This doesn't mean we go back to feeling alone. We need each other more than ever right now." The people looked to her, their expressions a mix of uncertainty and trust. Mr. Thompson gently moved the little girl behind him, scanning the crowd as if he were a lighthouse in a storm. The once vibrant camaraderie was beginning to crack, but Lily refused to let it shatter. "Let us form a circle," she suggested, moving toward a central spot in the park, her determination carving a straight path through the confusion. Others began to follow, their instincts nudging them toward solidarity. In moments, a circle formed, and Lily stood in the center, checking faces for the glimmers of hope that partnered with her own. Hand in hand, they joined forces. Rain soaked their clothes, but that didn't matter as the circle held firm. It felt stronger than the roots of the tree that had just fallen, barring any storm from ruining their moment. Each person was a lifeline, and somehow, clutching onto one another pulled the fear that had snuck in away. "We're safe together," shouted a voice from the circle. It was Mrs. Reynolds, an elderly woman known for her endless warmth, her eyes glistening even amid worry. The surrounding murmurs of agreement prompted comfort to ripple through the group. Lily felt a flicker ignite within her. "We've faced storms before," she exclaimed, remembering tougher times. "The power of this community comes from each and every one of us. We aren't just surviving. We are thriving." Laughter broke out, light and airy, echoing against the crashing rain. It was infectious. Even Mr. Thompson cracked a smile, reminding everyone that joy could find its way back even in the most unexpected moments. But just as everyone seemed to gather strength, the tremors returned, more powerful this time, like an angry beast awakening beneath them. The circle shook slightly with the force, and dread settled back like a thick blanket. Then came a sound, the sharp crack of something more alarming than thunder. People began to scream as the ground beneath the park, a cherished gathering place, began to splinter, gaping fissures appearing, swallowing the earth whole. "Back!" Mr. Thompson yelled, urgency flooding his tone. "Everyone, grab hold of each other." As panic swept through the crowd, Lily, caught in the rush, found herself stumbling backward. But something, or rather someone, tangled their hand around hers and held firm. She turned to find the little girl staring up at her, her muddy face now etched with fierce resolve. "We have to help," the girl proclaimed, her small voice cutting through the chaos. the little girl's bravery sparked something in Lily, igniting the flame of empowerment that was desperately needed. "You're right," she shouted over the cacophony, bolstered by the innocence of the child's conviction. "We can't let fear win. Keep holding on," Lily instructed, and as the circle trembled, she felt the strength of the people around her. The sound of cracking earth echoed all around, but this time, paired with their connected hands, it felt less daunting. If unity could stand against the roar of nature, maybe they were stronger together than they realized. And then it happened, something bigger than the storm they had braved. A shadow loomed overhead as a piece of the sky seemed to split apart. The question raced through Lily's mind: what awaited them as this storm unveiled its true face? It was a question that hung ominously in the air, but one that each person in the circle would have to confront together. As the shadow expanded above them, panic turned to disbelief. The swirling darkness took shape, something both magnificent and terrifying. It was as if the sky was alive, shifting and pulling, revealing secrets kept hidden from view. "What is that?" someone whispered, eyes wide with fear and fascination. Lily felt the tremor beneath their feet deepen, a pulsating rhythm that echoed the thumping of her heart. The churning sky seemed to hang heavy, ready to release its fury. Yet amid the chaos, the little girl's grip felt like an unyielding anchor. "Don't let go," Lily urged, her voice steady, though her stomach churned with uncertainty. She scanned the faces around her, searching for that collective strength, that willingness to fight against the unknown. The clouds parted slightly, and through the chasm, a vivid light pierced the gloom. It bathed them in an otherworldly glow. "Look!" Mrs. Reynolds cried, pointing upward, her voice trembling on the edge of wonder and fear. Everyone's eyes followed her arm, breaths catching in their throats as they saw it, a swirling mass, luminous and vibrant, like a celestial beacon. The air shimmered, electrifying their skin. "Lily, what do we do?" Mr. Thompson's voice broke through, a grounding reminder of their reality amid the inexplicable. "We hold on tight," she exclaimed, the girl's firm grip spasming under the force of her conviction. "Whatever is happening, we face it together." As if in response, a thunderous roar erupted. They felt as though the world was crying out, the earth trembling beneath their feet. Yet, despite the encompassing dread, hope flickered like lightning in their hearts. "Stay focused," shouted Mr. Thompson, his brow furrowed, but he moved closer to the circle, steeling himself. The others followed his lead. Together, they brought their voices in unison, calling out words of encouragement and solidarity. As their voices rose in volume, the radiant light above intensified. It swirled and wrapped around the edges of their fear, merging the stark dichotomy of despair and hope. "I believe in us. I believe in this community," Lily shouted, her heart pounding with each declaration. The storm continued to rage, but the trembling ground felt somehow less menacing. The little girl stood beside her, eyes filled with wonder, lit by the brilliance above. "What do you think it will do?" she asked, her small voice unwavering. "I don't know, to be honest." Lily wasn't sure what awaited them. The unknown was terrifying, but it also felt like a challenge. "But whatever it is, we will face it together." As they stood united, the light above now seemed vibrant and warm, not something to fear, but something to embrace. It pulsed with the rhythm of their hearts, syncing with the powerful beat of hope and possibility. And then, just as suddenly, the shadow began to shift. The light expanded, casting flickering reflections on the faces of everyone in the circle. In that moment, they connected deeply, sharing not just strength but love and humanity. As the brilliance enveloped them like a warm embrace, an unexpected calm settled, whispering promises of something transformative. Each individual felt the weight of their personal burdens lifted, if only for a second. But then, a soft voice emerged from within the light, reverberating like a distant melody. "What will you choose?" it asked, tender yet purposeful. A collective hush fell over the crowd, and Lily felt a spark of dread alongside a rush of hope. The question hung there, alive and charged. It was a moment where decisions could change everything. What do I choose? She thought. And in that cavernous echo, with everything at stake, she realized that the storm might not truly be the worst threat they faced. The choices they had ahead could shape their very lives. As the members of the circle looked around, each face filled with reflection, the real question lingered, hanging in the air. What could be forged anew amidst chaos? Little did they know, the answer could lead them down a path of unbelievable discovery, one that would challenge everything they thought they knew. Lily's heart raced. The air was thick with anticipation, as if the world itself held its breath. Everyone around her seemed frozen, their faces a mix of wonder and concern, their eyes trained upward, glued to the radiant spectacle above. The voice lingered, echoing in her mind, "What will you choose?" Each word resonated within her, demanding a response. What did she truly want? What did her community need? Mr. Thompson broke the silence, his voice steady yet firm. "We choose to stand together. We choose hope." That declaration sparked a flicker of determination in the faces around her. One by one, others began to echo his words, a symphony of vulnerability and strength. "Hope." They called out, their voices mingling and rising to meet the shining light above. The little girl squeezed Lily's hand tighter, her innocent eyes wide with belief. "What happens if we choose hope?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Lily turned to her, feeling a swell of affection. "Then we shine more brightly than the darkness," she replied, her tone filled with conviction. "A light can only grow from the heart of hope." As if on cue, the swirling mass of light responded, brightening and expanding, casting brilliant colors that danced across the crowd's faces. The fear that had once gripped them began to fade, replaced by a sense of unity. It felt like they were all woven together, their energies intertwining, creating a tapestry of resilience. But just as the warmth enveloped them, shadows flickered along the edges of the circle, reminding them of the storm that still raged outside. The wind howled like a banshee, tugging at their clothes, almost mockingly questioning their resolve. Lily's chest tightened at the contrast, the chaos clashing against the brilliance, a reminder of the thick uncertainty about to be broken. "Stay strong," shouted Mrs. Reynolds, her voice quavering but steady. The words seemed to lift the group, pushing against the threatening shadows. They huddled closer together, forming a tighter bond, their collective heartbeat a steady rhythm in the storm. As the vibrant colors around them intensified, so too did the clarity of Lily's thoughts. She didn't have to have all the answers. The heart of every choice was not about certainty, but about bravery. "We'll make it through, together," she reassured them, and it rumbled through the circle, lifting their spirits, but the sky continued to swirl and churn, taunting them with hints of what might come next. A low rumble encircled them. It was a sound almost like laughter, a challenge, or perhaps a warning. "What if we falter? What if we fail?" someone whispered, doubt creeping into their voices like shadows. "Then we try again," Lily declared, fire igniting in her chest. "That's what community means, we hold each other up." And she felt it, every heart there beat in sync with hers, creating an undeniable echo of strength. The storm spread its darkness, but the encircling light responded with an urgency. "Shine for each other," Lily cried out, her voice rising above the tempest. In a moment that felt suspended in time, every individual reached outward, hands linking, creating a chain of hope. Their collective will shone so brightly it split the atmosphere, creating a clarity within the chaos. But then, the air shifted again, palpably heavier, a looming presence rising from the depths of the darkness. "What do you truly desire?" the voice echoed once more, undermining their newfound hope. "What do we want?" Lily repeated, glancing around at the faces she held dear. The question lingered, a challenge thrust upon them once more. No longer just a confrontation with the shadow above them, but a chance to decide the very essence of who they were. As the shadows coiled tighter around them, they realized, this was not just about facing the storm. It was about discovering the light within, and the choices they made could ignite a fire powerful enough to illuminate the darkest corners of their community. With hearts pounding and minds racing, they stood firm, ready to declare their deepest desires. But what if the choices they made this time would bring consequences they never imagined? Lily took a deep breath, trying to shake off the weight of uncertainty. The voice reverberated through the air, thick and commanding, "What do you truly desire?" The words rolled over the crowd, wrapping around them like an unsettling fog. It was an invitation, one that brought forth the fears and hopes of their collective hearts to mar. Thompson's brow furrowed, his eyes scanning the faces of his neighbors, each one reflecting the flickering light above. "To feel safe," he shouted, vulnerability creeping into his voice. "To feel loved and to know we're not alone." The word sparked something within the group. Safe. Loved. They cried, their voices blending, harmonizing into an anthem against the chaos looming above them. Lily felt the little girl's grip tighten again, a tangible reminder of what was at stake. "And what if we dream bigger?" Lily thought aloud, surprising even herself with the boldness of her suggestion. "What if we want to heal? To thrive? To be the light for those who can't?" Gasps spread among the crowd. Could they truly aim for such lofty desires amidst the tumult? But she saw the flicker of what could be in their eyes, the glimmer of a shared yearning. "Yes!" shouted Mrs. Reynolds, her voice soaring above the rest. "We want joy. We want to laugh and lift each other when life gets hard." At that moment, the light above responded, pulsing with a vibrant energy that flooded the space. Waves of warmth washed over them, each heartbeat synchronized in an exhilarating rush. It was like a current, coursing through their linked hands, reminding them of their strength. "But, what if we can't?" Someone hesitated, doubt trailing behind their words like a shadow. "What if things don't change? We keep dreaming." Lily replied, her voice fierce and unwavering. "Even when it feels impossible. That's what hope is, it's the courage to face the storm." The swirling shadows seemed to falter, hesitating at the weight of her declaration. The light above began to shimmer and flare, almost in dialogue with their emotions, as if it too was listening, consuming the essence of their desires. "Let us dig deeper," Lily urged them. "Let us embrace our dreams. What do we want for our community? For our children? For our future?" A ripple of murmurs sparked around her. There was an undeniable shift as hearts began to open. One voice rose after another, building a crescendo of deep cravings and aspirations. "We want unity. We want laughter. We want healing and change." The shadows, once menacing, receded minutely, almost as if they were being repelled by the strength of their united voices. The vibrant light above started to cast patterns of color across the ground, illuminating faces with hope and possibility, but suddenly, the tempest roared louder, drowning the voices of their declarations in a cacophony of wind and chaos. A crack split the sky above, a reminder that danger still loomed, and that their newfound resolve was not yet secured. "What if this only brings more storms?" asked a trembling voice from the back of the crowd. Lily's heart sank, uncertainty creeping back in. But she knew they had a choice, a chance to redefine the narrative. "We face them together," she called out, meeting the eyes of her neighbors. "And we will show them our light. No matter how dark it gets, we are stronger together." Just as her words hung heavily in the air, the voice echoed again, this time colder and sharper, "But what if your light is extinguished? What if your dreams blind you to the truth?" The weight of that question settled over them, heavy and foreboding. As the storm swirled with renewed fury, a shudder of fear coursed through the crowd. They clung tightly to each other, a trembling mass caught between hope and dread. What consequences lay ahead for them? Were they prepared to risk everything for the light they dreamt of? And as the storm howled around them, Lily realized their answer might change everything. The wind howled around them, wild and unrestrained, as if the very earth was challenging their resolve. Faces, once lit with possibility, now twisted with doubt. The vibrant light above flickered, sending fragmented shadows darting through the crowd. Lily felt the little girl's fingers squeeze tightly, grounding her. It was a moment both fragile and fierce, a chance to stand taller than their fears. "We are not alone," she murmured to the girl, whose wide eyes reflected the flickering shadows and occasional bursts of light. "Are you sure?" The girl whispered back, her small voice breaking through the tumult. It was a question that cut deeper than any storm. Lily knelt to meet her gaze. "Yes, I'm sure. Together, we can face anything." Something stirred inside her. If they were truly to keep their light, it meant being brave, real bravery that broke through the fear. Rising to her feet, she focused on Mr. Thompson, who stood unsteadily beside her, his expression mirroring the wavering resolve of the crowd. "Please!" Lily called out, her voice rising above the din. "This is our moment. What we dream about, what we aspire to, it matters. It binds us. Let us share our fears, too. They fuel our fight." The crowd hesitated, glancing at one another, seeking permission in their shared vulnerability. Slowly, someone stepped forward. It was old Mrs. Jenkins, her frame small but her spirit fierce. "I fear I won't see my grandchildren grow up," she began, her voice wavering. "That I'll leave them in a world that doesn't care." A collective gasp washed over them. Others nodded, murmurs of agreement rising, embedded in shared worry. Lily glanced around, noticing that every face held a story: burdens, losses, unfulfilled dreams. Their true desires could only be born from this honesty. "I fear being forgotten," someone else admitted, and another echoed with, "I fear I'll always be alone." Each confession sparked a flame of courage. The shadows crept, edged closer, but with every fear shared, the vibrant light reacted, flickering fiercely in response, battling the tempest. Lily took a deep breath, urging the others forward. "What if we could change that? What if we could build something together? A place where fear is met with love, and dreams have a chance to thrive. Imagine a town where everyone feels included." Mr. Thompson shouted, his voice steadying. "Where we protect each other, not just from storms, but from sadness, too. Yes, where laughter fills the streets." A voice chimed in, and warmth flooded in as hands reached out to join, forming an unbreakable circle. As they spoke, the clouds above began to twist, a tapestry of darkness meeting a cascade of light. In that moment, a brilliant bolt of energy crackled from the sky, creating a burst of colors that danced around them. It was as if their collective resolve commanded the universe itself, but beneath the brilliance, a deeper question lingered, threatening to break through. "What if the storm is a reflection of our inner chaos?" asked a voice at the edge of the circle. "How do we stand strong when faced with our own darkness?" Lily's stomach tightened. Was it true? Were they simply masking their fears with bravado? The light dimmed momentarily, flickering with the gravity of doubt. As the cacophony of the storm calmed to a distant rumble, she felt the weight of those words. The truth could be as menacing as it was liberating. They needed to face both their dreams and this darkness if they were to truly be free. "Maybe that's the secret," she whispered thoughtfully, feeling the little girl beside her lean in closer. "To embrace the light and shadow equally." The wind shifted, a gentle breeze against their faces, almost an acknowledgement. Yet, the storm was still looming, the true test yet to come. What revelations would the next moment hold? And could they find the strength to face whatever darkness lay within them? Lily took a deep breath, feeling the energy in the air surge like an electric wave. As she looked around at her neighbors, a sense of unity sparked deep within her. "We face this together," she declared, her voice steady and confident. "We'll turn our fears into strength and our dreams into reality." Above them, the swirling light pulsed, responding to the strength of their declaration. The shadows may have tried to stifle them, but they were beginning to understand the power hidden within their collective heartbeat. Lily felt it strengthen with each word spoken, each voice raised in honesty. "Yes." The crowd murmured, some fists pumping in solidarity. Mr. Thompson stepped forward, eyes alight with hope. "We've built more than just a community of convenience," he said, his voice resonating above the faint remnants of the storm. "We're about to forge a community of compassion." A collective nod rolled through the crowd, faces softening with a mix of determination and understanding. It became clear that the real challenge wasn't just the storm above but their ability to truly connect with each other, to peel back the layers of fear that had kept them apart. "I want us to laugh again," shouted Mrs. Williams, surprising even herself. It lit an ember of enthusiasm in those around her. Some smiled, others clapped. "And I want music," James added, nodding eagerly. "We used to have concerts in the park. We should bring that back." The spark ignited, and suddenly, ideas were flying like wildfire: game nights, potluck dinners, and volunteer groups to reach out to those in need. Lily stood tall, her heart swelling with pride. "Let's make a plan, right here and now. A way to show everyone that we see and hear each other." As she spoke, a little girl tugged at her sleeve. "Can we have a cupcake party?" she asked, her eyes glowing with excitement. Laughter bubbled up in the crowd, ice melting off doubts. "Of course. That will get people talking," Lily responded enthusiastically. "Let's make it a celebration of kindness." "Count me in," shouted another neighbor, and soon they were all chanting in unison, "Together. Together. Together." The swirling light above them sparkled brighter, weaving through the dark clouds like a promise. But just when they thought they were lifting off the ground, the tempest roared back with a vengeance. The winds whipped violently and thunder boomed, filling the very air with electricity. Yet something was different this time. The group was grounded, not in fear but in hope. The intensity of their connection fueled their resolve. "We transcend this storm." Mr. Thompson raised his voice, face steady and proud. "No matter the struggles ahead, we've found our light." With a chorus of agreement, hands held tighter. The little girl's small fingers wrapped firmly around Lily's, and she felt the warmth radiating between them. Even amid the chaos, love and determination blossomed, intertwining with the gusty wind like wildflowers in the crack of concrete. Then, as if they had flipped a switch, the storm answered, swirling and pulsating with light and darkness. The vibrant bursts intertwined, revealing a stunning tapestry of resilience. And just like that, the danger lurking overhead transformed. The darkness began dissolving, splitting apart like thick fog burned away by the sun. That it was profound, this realization. They had chosen to acknowledge both fear and hope, to lift themselves up in affirmation of their very humanity. And it became clear that their deepest desires could only thrive through connection, through the embrace of collective light. That as the storm gradually receded, the sun peeked through the clouds. It cast golden rays that shimmered across the park, illuminating not just the ground but the faces of every neighbor standing together. Laughter filled the air, brightening spirits that had once been shrouded in doubt. "Look at that!" someone exclaimed, pointing toward the horizon. In the distance, a stunning rainbow unfurled, a vibrant bridge against the remnants of the storm, capturing their hopes stitched together in a colorful arch. Tears of joy streamed down Lily's face, and she caught Mr. Thompson's eye. "We did it," she whispered, overwhelmed by the beauty of the moment. "We really did it." In that ephemeral span of eternity, she felt it all, the pieces of the force they had created together. They had decided to turn a storm into a story of resilience, to personalize their struggles into a celebration of hope. "Together we thrive," they echoed, a mantra vibrating across the street, as community members turned toward each other with renewed understanding and warmth. They no longer whispered about Mr. Thompson, they called out his name, celebrating him as a beacon of strength and kindness. And as sunlight broke through the clouds, the air was thick with the fragrance of possibility. Lily sat down, exhaustion settling in but fulfillment enveloping her, just as the golden rays warmed her skin. The storm may have taken their breath away, but it had also gifted them something infinitely greater, the knowledge that together, they could push through anything. Lily's heart swelled, knowing this was just the beginning of their collective journey, a testament to love that would light their way forward. Now was the time for hope and action. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support makes a difference. Comment your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support, so don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.